Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today let's start off with the new playlist which is gonna be about the design patterns for the interviews. So design patterns are the low-level design principles which are universal concepts, and today we will be diving deeper into it and have a look at the introduction part of these design patterns, the categorizations, and we'll also have a look at the kind of problems you can expect which we're gonna solve in the coming videos. So let's get started about it. Now coming on to the introduction, okay, so what these design patterns are basically, these are the common software architectural approaches, and they were popularized by the Gang of Four book. That's the common term. Formally, it's the design patterns elements of reusable object-oriented software, which was released in 1994. You can see, have a look at the image over here, and these are language independent and universally applicable principles. So whether you're using C Sharp, Java, Python, everywhere you can just use these patterns. And so it's the kind of abstraction which is used to implement a lot of software out there. And inside the languages as well, for example, decorators in Python and you have observers in C Sharp, they are also based on these design patterns itself. So we'll have a look at the different patterns, and then you will understand what these patterns are and how they are being used in these languages. And you might even already be using some of them without already knowing a user. For example, the adapter pattern, it's very common, and I bet many of you would have already used it before. Now coming on to the categorization, okay, so these design patterns are basically divided into three categories as we see the down ones. Solid principles, they're not exactly design patterns, but they're more like it's an acronym which is used to represent the five fundamental principles of object-oriented design, like single responsibility, open close, list-of substitution, interface segregation, dependency inversion, and they provide a base for creating maintainable, extensible, and modular software systems. So we'll have a look at them before we get into these patterns. And the patterns, as you can see, are creational, behavioral, and structural patterns. Now talking about these creational patterns, there are four of them: builder, factory, prototype, and singleton. So builder helps in constructing complex objects step by step. The factory one, it encapsulates the object creation logic and providing flexibility in creating different type of objects. Prototype enables the creation of new objects by cloning the existing ones. And singleton, it's something which people hate a lot, but still that's a pattern. So it restricts the instantiation of a class to a single instance. So there are no more instances of a class created. There's just one of them which is there throughout the life cycle of the current session. Now coming on to the structural patterns. So yeah, all these are the structural patterns. Adapter, for example, converts the interface of a class into another interface what the client expects. Decorator, yeah, it just adds new behavior dynamically. The proxy pattern controls the access to an object and just adds extra functionality if needed. So, and yeah, then we have the other ones like bridge, flyweight, and others as well. So we'll have a look at them in the later videos. And then we have the behavioral patterns. Okay, so some famous one are observer patterns. So it defines the one-to-many dependency between objects, and as soon as one object changes the state, others are informed of that. So think of it just like an observer which is observing the behavior, or maybe a chat application. You can think of it something in that sort. And then we have a strategy pattern. So it allows for interchangeable algorithms to be selected during runtime. For example, you are trying to sort a linear array of numbers, so you can use a bubble sort strategy, you can use a merge sort strategy, you can use a quick sort strategy, and you can use bucket sort strategy. So that's how strategy pattern works. Then we have the template, also a command, a visitor, chain of responsibility, and a couple of them. So that's the behavioral patterns. So that's about the design patterns, how they're categorized. Now coming on to the strategies and how they will are used, we'll be looking at the the low-level design, the class diagram, the database structures for some of the common services, for example, Uber, Lyft, Instacart, some notification service, okay, kind of a very generic notification service which can send notifications via email, via text messages, via other channels which you can think of, and then even a car rental system, a movie booking app, and also Instagram. So we'll be having a look at all these different applications which we use, and it's something which people are getting asked a lot in your software engineering interviews, so it becomes very necessary to have a good grasp on these concepts. So stay tuned, we'll be talking about these design patterns. We'll be starting off with the solid principles and then the other patterns one by one, and also in between we'll keep on looking at how do you design a service like this, which will be very helpful for you in the coming interviews. So in case you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. There's more exciting content which is gonna come up very soon, and in case you have any questions or suggestions for the future videos, please leave them in the comments below, and until next time, have a great day and happy coding.